Hi guys and gals, I'm Delita Ross and I'm a bodybuilder. I just enjoy doing it. I have been at it, I've been at it since 1980, back when it was kind of unheard of for women to be in bodybuilding. In fact, I went down with my guy friends in the men's gym at Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo, and when I was going to school there. And I would always run into one of my science instructors when I was coming up. He'd be going down. And funny thing is years later, he ended up judging one of my shows, the San Luis Obispo bodybuilding contest, in which I'm the Miss Lightweight for 1988. I, before that, had done a show about 2 weeks before in Fresno, and I'm the Miss Fresno Muscle Classic of 1988. And I didn't start bodybuilding, actually competing, until 1988, and got into it for personal reasons, not because I had this fantastic physique. I've been very athletic all my life. I've always enjoyed running, and in fact, I started lifting in 1980, and then I started running track again in 1982. And in fact, while I was down on the blocks getting ready to sprint, actually a contest or one of the relays, someone broke my concentration by saying, "Boy, she lifts weights." So it was very unheard of back then, and it actually kind of gave me a complex. I was always very much aware of it. Now I'm aware of it now, and it's funny, you get stares like, and that's what you used to get, as if you were missing an arm or a leg in the 80s. The 1990s and TV and showing the bodybuilding contest now on TV have kind of helped me a little bit. People are a little nicer with their stares, or they might realize they're staring and then say something like, "Oh, you lift weights." I usually just go, "Yeah, a little," and it kind of brushes them off. I guess I'm maybe a little different than probably your average bodybuilder, because I'm a little shy about it. I try and keep myself kind of concealed, so to speak. But it's been a challenge. It's like sprinting. It's a challenge, and I wanted to set my attention on that and compete, and then complete it and win. And I did. And I came back in 1990 after taking 2 years off and saying, "I'm never going to do this again because I hate it." Came back in 1990, and I did the Ventura Muscle Classic and also the Santa Barbara bodybuilding contest. And I'm both the champ for both of those for 1990. And then I was really thrilled about that and had such a great time. That was I think my best two shows. And I decided to come back. I wanted to come back sooner. I wanted to come back a year later. But unfortunately, the job I had injured me. I have now carpal tunnel syndrome. And so I had to lay off for almost 10 months on my upper body. But I've never had any problem with that. I've been lucky. I've always had upper body strength. So what did I do? I had a friend rack and re-rack and unrack my weights for me, and I continued to work my legs. So then I came back in 1992 bigger than I'd ever been, and all by myself. Nothing else. I'm all natural. And when I did, I came back and I did the Santa Clara Muscle Classic in 92, in which I took second in that. And then I did another Fresno, in which I took second in that. And then I did a national qualifier at the Border States Muscle Classic down in San Diego, in which I took third. And that year I wasn't as pleased with some of the judging and what was going on and that kind of thing, and it kind of disappointed me a bit. And I told myself I was never gonna compete again, and I haven't since. I don't know if I'll come back and maybe go into masters or something. I'm not sure, but it's still on my mind, and I still work out. Hi, yeah, I'm back again, and let me tell you one of the funny stories I had. I was in the gym, and you would think in a gym people look like that. a normal environment for us bodybuilders. But no, you still get the real big stares, especially when you're leaning out to 6% body fat. And I've had guys, while I'm waiting for my turn on one of the machines, I've come up to him and asked him if he's, very politely, like a woman, are you done yet? Of course, he's looking down on me, so I look a little thicker when he's looking down on me, I guess. And he got really kind of upset at the fact I asked him, and went into that. Well, he got off, and I got on the machine. Well, that wasn't good enough. He came back, and he started harassing me to the point, I said, if you don't get away now. And he started pumping up and looking like he was going to throw a punch at me. And so it's funny all the reactions you get. I get, like I said, people that just stare at me like I'm missing an arm. They keep staring at me. I've walked up to them about 3 feet away and asked them if there's a problem, and then they back off. And it's interesting. They think I'm intimidating. They can't imagine how I feel with them staring at them. But let me give you an example maybe as to why they're looking at me like that. I'll give you a little sneak preview of my muscles. See, they'll look at me and they'll say, "Oh, you lift weights, huh?" I say, "Yeah, a little." And then they'll ask me, "Gee, how often?" And I'll say, "Oh, it's mostly genetics." And then I'll mention that I competed, and they don't really take me seriously. So, they look at me like this. My arms aren't really that bad. But then when I go like this, they kind of drop their mouth open. But to me, it's just me, and that's just the way I am. And it's kind of fun. I'm getting to where I kind of get a kick out of it. If I really want to, I just do that. So that's the sneak preview.